For 60 years, we've treated the moon like a trophy from a finished race. A cold, dead museum where we left some footprints, a few flags, and a lot of silence. But while the world spent the last decade staring at the red dust of Mars, Elon Musk was quietly looking much closer to home. He didn't just want a visit, he wanted a mortgage. Leaked blueprints and Starship manifests suggest something far more aggressive than a simple research outpost. We're talking about a multi-trillion-dollar fortress in the gray wastes, a private city where Earth's laws are millions of miles away, and one man holds the oxygen key. The space race just stopped being about discovery and started being about ownership. And if you want to understand how the future of the human race was sold before we even left the atmosphere, hit that subscribe button now. Because by the time the sun rises on the first lunar city, the moon we grew up with will be gone forever. The Apollo missions were about national pride and grainy TV footage, but Elon Musk isn't looking for a giant leap for mankind. He's looking for a monopoly. While NASA is perpetually tangled in red tape and budget hearings, SpaceX has been launching rockets at a rate that suggests they aren't just testing technology. They're building a logistics empire, and the center of that empire isn't in Texas or Florida. It's located at the lunar South Pole. Why there? Because in the frozen shadows of the Shackleton crater, there's something more valuable than any precious metal: water ice. To you, it's a refreshing drink. To Musk, it's liquid hydrogen, the gas station of the solar system. Whoever controls the ice controls the traffic to the rest of the universe. Imagine a world where the most essential resource for human survival is owned by a private corporation that answers to no one. The irony is delicious, isn't it? We spent centuries fighting over borders on Earth, only to realize the real estate that actually matters is 238,000 miles away. But here's the twist. The leaked designs for Starbase Moon look less like a sterile laboratory and more like a high-density metropolitan hub. We aren't talking about a few tents and some solar panels. We're talking about massive pressurized domes capable of housing thousands of residents. But notice I didn't say citizens, I said workers. Musk has already hinted that the laws governing Earth won't necessarily apply on his celestial turf. In the fine print of current Starlink terms of service, there's already a clause about Mars being a free planet. The moon is just the beta test for this new reality. You aren't going there to be an explorer. You're going there to be an employee in the ultimate company town. And in a town where the boss literally owns the oxygen, the concept of a day off starts to feel like a life or death negotiation. If you think the US government is comfortably sitting in the co-pilot seat of this mission, you haven't been paying attention. The Pentagon is quietly sweating. Why? Because the very rockets designed to carry humans to the moon are also the most terrifying kinetic weapons ever conceived. A Starship landing on the lunar surface isn't just a bus for astronauts. It's a 100-ton delivery system for whatever Musk, or his highest bidder, wants to put there. While we're arguing about climate change and interest rates, a silent race for the high ground is peaking. The moon is the ultimate military high ground. From there, you don't need nukes. You just need to drop a rock. It's called rods from God, gravity doing the work of 1,000 warheads. And right now, the only person with the keys to the heavy lift crane is the guy who sells electric cars. But the irony gets darker. China and Russia have officially teamed up to build their own international lunar research station. They aren't following the Artemis Accords, the rules the US tried to set for space behavior. They're making their own rules. So now we have a three-way standoff: the old guard, NASA, the new rival, China, and the wild card, Musk. Each one is racing for the same few kilometers of sunlit peaks at the South Pole. If two players land on the same crater rim, who moves first? There's no 911 in space. The moon is becoming a wild west without a sheriff, and the first person to build a jail usually wins. But the biggest twist isn't who gets there first. It's what they find when they start digging. When we start digging into the lunar regolith, we aren't just looking for water. We're looking for a vault to house our mistakes. The Moon City isn't just a colony. It's the ultimate lifeboat for the 0.01%. Inside the classified manifest for the upcoming Starship missions, there's a pattern that should make your blood run cold. The cargo isn't just seeds or tractors. It's petabytes of data. humanity's entire history, art, and DNA sequences stored in radiation-hardened glass. The irony is staggering. While we are told this is about exploration, the architecture suggests a hard reset button for the human race. The moon is the only place in the solar system that is close enough to reach, but far enough to survive a global catastrophe on Earth. It's a backup drive for a world they expect to crash. But there's a darker twist hiding in the cooling systems of these lunar domes. Musk's deepest fear, and his greatest obsession, has always been artificial intelligence. On Earth, AGI is dangerous because it can be influenced by the masses or shut down by the state. But on the moon, the vacuum of space is the perfect natural heat sink for a massive, unyielding supercomputer. A lunar. AI wouldn't just be an assistant, it would be the city's nervous system. It would control the air, the water, and the doors. We think we're building a sanctuary for humans, but we might actually be building the first self-sustaining home for a god of our own making. And a god living on a mountain of ice doesn't need to care about the people left behind in the heat below. The surface of the moon is a radiation-soaked hellscape where the sun literally tries to cook you alive. If you're living in a glass dome, you're just one solar flare away from becoming a memory. Elon Musk isn't a fool. He knows the city of the future can't exist in the light. So the real lunar city isn't being built on the moon. It's being carved inside it. Deep beneath the lunar crust lie massive lava tubes, ancient hollow veins of basalt large enough to house entire Earth cities. These aren't just shelters. They are the ultimate black sites. From the surface, spy satellites see nothing but gray dust. But underneath, a multi-billion-dollar infrastructure is being laid out in total darkness. Here is the irony. We call it the pioneer spirit. But the reality looks more like a high-tech subterranean bunker. And this is where the space race turns into a trap. The cost of getting to the moon is falling, but the cost of leaving is staying the same. If you sign up for a job in the lunar tunnels, you aren't an explorer. You're an indentured servant to the oxygen supply. When your contract ends, you might realize your lungs can no longer handle Earth's gravity or its heavy atmosphere. You become a biological prisoner of the moon. Musk is building a society where the exit door is permanently locked by physics. But the most terrifying part isn't the physical trap. It's the fact that this private city is about to disconnect from Earth's economy entirely. A great divorce is coming, where the moon stops being a colony and starts being a competitor. And the weapons they've placed on the high ground are already pointed at the world that paid for their ticket. The first child born in a lunar lava tube will never know what a blue sky looks like. They won't have a passport, a nationality, or a vote. They will be the first true Moonites, the property of a mission, living in a world where every breath is logged on a corporate ledger. But here is the final chilling realization. Elon's moon city isn't a bridge to the stars for humanity. It's a firewall. It's a way to ensure that even if Earth's systems collapse under the weight of war or climate, the important parts of our species, the data, the DNA, and the capital, remain untouched. We've spent decades fearing an alien invasion from above, scanning the stars for hostile intent. We never stopped to consider that the aliens would be us, a breakaway civilization of the ultra-wealthy, looking down on the home planet with total indifference. The space race didn't end with a flag or a handshake. It ended with a "Do Not Disturb" sign. As the lights of the first lunar city blink on, the lights of Earth's common future might just be flickering out. The moon was once a symbol of what humanity could achieve together. Now, it's the ultimate gated community, where the gates are 238,000 miles of vacuum. Maybe the reason we've never heard from other civilizations is that they all eventually moved into the basement of their own moons and stopped answering the phone. So, next time you look up at that glowing white orb, don't just see a rock, see the insurance policy that you aren't covered by. The future is happening in the dark, and if you want to keep the lights on, you need to know what they're building over your head. Hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the race for the finish line has already been won, and we might not even be on the scoreboard.